Young Souls Deluxe Edition by Pix and Love. So this Deluxe Edition totally surprised me, and I wanted to show you guys what came inside of it, man. It was actually pretty cool. I'll talk about the gameplay in a little bit here, but I wanted to show you guys all the awesome stuff that came in this package. I was really surprised. Now, after playing this game, I would call it probably a beat-em-up action RPG game. Definitely something I think people will want to look into, but we'll get into that in a bit. But the first thing when you open this is a signed picture from, I think it's from the people who developed the game. I thought that was really nice. They put that in there, so very cool. And then also here, I wasn't expecting this, but there's vinyl here. 2 different soundtracks for each twin, which I thought was great. That really surprised me. So now I got a little bit more to play on my vinyl player. It's crazy how they fit all this stuff in this packaging. It's very impressive how snug it is. It doesn't feel like anything's like pushed in, like mashed in, like a lot of other collections are. I also want to say this for people who are not like sealed collectors. When you get something like this, you want to make sure you take the main game out of the packaging and just like put the packaging up somewhere else. Just have the game out so you can play it. Because one thing I hate is digging back and forth in between this big package like this. You don't want to keep doing that. I like how the art slips off here. I think that's pretty cool how they put that on there. Okay, and the rest of the stuff in here, obviously this is where the game is going to be at. And also this game is available for the Switch as well, so just to let people know that. But here it is here. But also there was a case in here. I feel like it was like a Switch case or something like that. So if I want to get the Switch version, I can put it in there and include it in this collection. If that's what it's for, that's pretty badass as well. But here are some art cards as well. Here is the CD soundtrack. It's kind of funny, a lot of companies don't put them in cases anymore. I think this is a cooler way of doing it now, you know, so they're kind of unique to themselves. Now here's a quick look at the hardcover art book that comes with it. Lots of cool art up in here. You know, I don't know how people feel about art books, but I really like them a lot. You know, it just gives you more lore of the game, stuff they cut out, you know, things like that, you know, extra story. Very cool. And of course, I gotta show you what's inside the case here. You know, it felt pretty heavy, so I figured there was a manual in here. And sure enough, I was right. I know I say this on my channel a lot, but you guys have no idea how cool it is to get a manual that comes with these games. You know, a lot of these companies have went the cheap route, and you know, they're making digital manuals that you put the game in and you can find a manual like that. But this is where it was at. You know, you grab the manual out of the case, then you read it. But anyways, that is pretty much everything that comes in this collection. Here's just a quick look at everything before we go into the gameplay. Definitely really cool. Definitely check out Pix and Love, guys. I have another item I'll be showing in the video as well from them. But yeah, definitely check out their website, guys. They have a lot of cool stuff for sale. Also, rating this collector's edition from a scale of 1 to 10, I gotta give it a solid 9.5. Very impressive. Alright guys, so now it's time for your favorite part. Let's look at some gameplay. So just to do a little small comparison here first, you know, as a beat 'em up game, this game reminds me a little bit of Castle Crashers in the gameplay department. So if you're a fan of that game, I think you'll definitely like this game. But you play as 2 twins. They're living with their guardian and they go to the store. They come back home and something happens pretty much, and they end up going into another world where they're fighting against goblins. And the gameplay in this game is pretty cool because I wasn't doing this at first, but I was kind of like just button mashing. But when you fight, like when enemies do certain types of moves, you have to block or just get out of the way. And when you block certain moves, you counter it and do massive damage. You know, I didn't figure that out until the end because I was just trying to get through one of the levels. The game has a hub pretty much, which is the real world, and you could go like to your house and then you go to the city and do little errands and you know, just talk with people for like cool events. I pretty much played the game single player, but you can play as both twins pretty much, so you switch between them. Like if one twin's health gets low, you switch to the other one. You can kind of heal a little bit, you know, of the damage they've taken. I'm only on chapter 6, but so far I'm really liking the game. The character dialogue is hilarious between characters, the choices you can make. And just overall, just all the unlockables, I feel like with the moveset, you know, is really impressive. But anyways, guys, let me know how you feel about this one in the comments. And next up, we have Double Dragon for the Neo Geo CD. But before I go into this game, I gotta show you guys the cool intro. Yes, when I first saw that intro, I was pumped up, you know. But unfortunately, for the Neo Geo CD version, that intro is pretty much neutered. It's not as cool as that one. That intro that you just saw is exclusive to the AES version and the arcade version, MVS version. But other than that, the gameplay is still the same. Now, I had a lot of fun playing this game back in the day, and I'm still having a lot of fun playing it now. Would I recommend it to other fighting fans? I don't know. The gameplay is a bit dated compared to what some people would like, I would think. But I still think it's good enough. And I love the fact that when you play as Billy and Jimmy Lee, you can actually change their move style when you charge up their bar pretty much. You can just turn Double Dragon and your whole moveset changes. But mainly, I just want to let you guys know that there is a Double Dragon game out there on the Neo Geo system. And also this version is available on the PlayStation 1. A lot of people don't know about that version as well. That version has a lot of weird features to it. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention that this game is actually based off of the movie, which I cannot finish that movie. No matter how much I tried in the past, I just can't do it, man. It's just too corny. But it's weird coming from me because I actually like the Super Mario Brothers live movie. I thought it was enjoyable, but Double Dragon, I just can't, man. But the game, I can. Pixel Love. This is Windjammers. Windjammers is a frisbee game that's pretty freaking awesome. I didn't think I was going to like this game, and it really just pulled me in. So what you're seeing in this collection, this is the frisbee collection. Here's the game itself. The game originally came out on the Neo Geo years ago, but it got really popular again, so happy about that. But here's the soundtrack. I kind of like how they're not doing jewel cases anymore. They're kind of like just doing their own thing, you know. It seems like a cheaper route, but still, I think it works. Now, I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of the boxes they're using here. It was hard to take the manual out, but still, you have your full color manual here. And also, with the game itself, if you go with the single copy of the game, that's the regular edition, it has a manual in there as well. But it's cool that they put this manual in there like it is. I just don't like how that sleeve is there. It seems just kind of weird. But anyways, here are the cards of the characters. Some of you guys who have played this game know who these characters are. I played the second game first, which I shouldn't have done. I should have went with the first game because the second game was pretty crazy, but we'll get that in a second. But here's the inside of the case as well, so you know what you're getting. It has a reversible cover. I like the regular cover better, but very cool packaging here, I would say. And here's a close look at everything together, all nice and neat. We're going to look at Windjammers here in a second, but man, I just never thought that this game would pull me in. You know, I thought it was just going to be like some simple, like basic Pong type game, even though you're just throwing frisbees back and forth between each other. But it has that Super Dodgeball feel to it. So going into the gameplay here, Windjammers is a lot of fun. You know, I didn't like it at first. I thought it was a bit tough, but once I got used to things, it really took off for me. Basically in this game, you want to make sure you know how to counter your enemy pretty much. Now, they'll throw the frisbee at different angles, so you have to be prepared for that. But also, you have to learn each of your opponent's super moves. You have to know how their super moves are angled at you because they'll get you with that stuff. And you have to be careful just to cover your ground pretty much, you know. If you're able to cover your ground, you'll do well. But it could get tough, but not too hard to where you're going to want to quit. You know, it's a lot of fun. And it's just fun to learn this game. now here's a look at Windjammers 2 Collector's Edition from Pix and Love. Now, pretty much this is the same as the other one. It comes with a few extra cards, but I just want to show you guys this just in case people want to see it. Inside here, it comes with a manual as well. As you can see in the big box too, it has its own manual as well. So I like how they did that, but still, I feel the same about these boxes. You know, I just feel like hopefully they'll choose different boxes next time when they do these collector's editions. I just don't like these ones here. They kind of remind me of the limited run ones where they were doing the Neo Geo shock boxes. I wasn't really a fan of those, but still, they're still cool though. Don't get me wrong. It's just like I prefer like a Neo Geo shock box type, you know, like a really close to the originals, I would say. All right, so here's everything together. Pretty impressive. You know, Pix and Love, I mean, I chose them for a lot of their games, man, because I really like the packaging they put together. They put a lot of heart into their products. And I think it really shows from what you guys have seen so far, you know. So, but let me know what you guys think about the boxes that they put the Windjammers in. Do you prefer like the Neo Geo boxes, or do you like these boxes better? I'm curious because me personally, I just didn't really like. I don't really like this style of box. It looks good though. Don't get me wrong. But if I had a choice, I would go with the other Neo Geo boxes. And oh, some stuff here I forgot to mention. Comes with an art book too. This Frisbee collection, so you can look at all the art of the games, which is really nice. But now it's time to look at some gameplay of Windjammers Part 2. Now, I played this game first. I really should have played the original game first before I played this one. This game was tough. It beat my ass. And the new mechanics they added from the original game is like, dude, like it takes a bit to learn. It's not crazy hard, but it's just like if you go into this game first before the other one, it's like it can be very difficult. At least it was for me. I don't know if it would be like that for everyone, but it was for me. But it didn't stop me from enjoying this game. And, you know, I prefer, you know, sprite-based graphics, but I understand the art style, why they went this way. You know, sprites are very hard to do, very time-consuming. And the art style they use for this game, I think, is very well done. And I think if you're a fan of the first game, you'll definitely like this one once you get used to the new mechanics.
5 points. 5 points. Excellent game. Next round.
So here's Flowgun. So this is a 3D platform game, and I actually showed this to John and Cag the other day, and they immediately just looked at me and started laughing. I guess if you look at the cover, you know, you're like, oh, nah, this is not something I'll play, but this is actually a 3D platformer, and it's kind of reminiscent to the games of the PS1 and PS2 era. You know, 3D platform games where you have to switch the camera around to kind of make sure you're jumping at a certain angle properly. There's a lot of that in this game. But to be honest, it's not like a fault against the game. It's just more of a mechanic, you know, so you can see like pretty much what you're doing and certain things that are hidden. You know, you'll have to switch the camera around a lot, you know, not too much to where it's like crazy, but, you know, just to find secrets and all kind of other stuff. I like the fact that your gun not only attacks enemies, but it'll actually get you out of certain obstacles. So pretty much it'll pull you to other platforms, you know, so you can like explore more of the level. It's a pretty cool mechanic. So if you see this game out there, which it is, I believe it's only at Best Buy for sale. I didn't see it anywhere else, but I would say give it a chance, you know, especially if you like 3D platformers. Alright, so next up is Blazing Rangers by First Press Games. So this is a brand new NES game, and I was totally shocked by this game. This game is really cool, and a lot of effort went into making this, but I'll get into that a little bit later. Just want to show you guys the packaging here, how it resembles old school 8-bit NES games. I feel like it's an amazing time that we live in, that we're still getting new NES games. And it's more than you think. A lot of people probably, you know, see there's a few out there, but there's a lot of NES games being made by dedicated developers, and it's truly amazing. You know, I'm just shocked, you know. But here is the inside of the box here, the game cartridge, which I'll show you a little close-up of this. It's just crazy having that same feeling you had as a kid opening an NES game, you know, that same feeling applies here, and it's just like it was like yesterday. So pretty amazing. But here's the manual. It shows you instructions on how to play the game. Black and white, no problem there. You know, it doesn't have to be in color or whatever like that. Would have been nice if it was in color, but still very well done. I mean, I'm just happy it comes with a manual anyways. And here's a close-up of the game cartridge itself. First Press Games on the back. And I would say definitely look at their other products, guys. They have some amazing stuff. And here's everything all together. Game is still available. I'll have links for everything in this video in the description if anybody wants to pick any of this stuff up. And now let's get into a little bit of the gameplay. One thing I feel like everybody will like about this game is the chiptune music. The music will really pump you up, man, get you in the mode. So definitely music is a strong point with this game. But pretty much you are tasked to rescue children from these mysterious fires that break out. So it's pretty cool. And so pretty much you have your fire hose, and once you get a stream going, you can aim it in any direction, kind of like power it up a little bit, you know, kind of like knock out the fires. But it's very tense because you have a timer, and the action gets very tense as you get further in the game. So you're trying to rescue these people, get out before the timer expires. It's pretty awesome. So definitely I feel like this is an NES game that a lot of people will want to pick up. It's definitely a lot of fun, has a great soundtrack, and of course playing 2 players is freaking awesome. Here's Raiden 4 Mikado Remix. Now, I pretty much like all the Raiden games. I would say the exception would be probably the Super Nintendo game. Now, I'm not sure how people felt about Raiden 5. I thought it was an awesome game, personally. I know it had a lot of talking going on in it, and I actually really enjoyed those story bits. Raiden 4, of course, doesn't have all that, so it's probably easier to concentrate on the gameplay, I would say. Now, when it comes to vertical shooters, you know, those are my favorite in the genre, besides the horizontal ones. I say vertical. That's just where it's at for me. And I pretty much had a great time with this game. I actually tried the 2-player mode where you control both planes, and I thought it was going to be similar to another game that you guys know I love on my channel, which is called Cladrius Blaze. Now, I remember that game having a 2-player mode where you control both planes, but it was different. The planes would go opposite of each other, and the second plane couldn't be hit, but it could like do as much damage as the other plane on the field. So I thought that was going to be the same mode in Raiden. But I figured out real quick that it wasn't the case, and that 2-player mode in Raiden is pretty tough. So definitely fun. I mean, it's interesting to play a shoot 'em up with like controlling 2 planes. That's just chaotic in itself. But man, I'm pretty sure you got to be an expert to pull that off. But if you guys would like a more in-depth like look into these games, definitely check out the artist formerly known as Studio Mudprints. Now he's called Mudprints. But I'll leave a link in his channel if you want to look at like more games like this. Definitely a great channel. And I also think that our Raiden 4 is a pretty good game. I think you guys will want to check this one out. Here's Saifu or Sifu, whatever you want to call it, Redemption Edition. As far as I know, this Redemption Edition is exclusive to Nintendo Switch. Now, the Nintendo Switch version is obviously the lesser version of the games, you know, has issues with frame rate, but still, it doesn't take away from the game. But I would have preferred to have this collector's edition on the PS4, but I feel like a lot of companies are straying away from the PS4, so I kind of get it, and it's all good. But take a look at this box. I'll show you guys what's inside here. I just want to kind of like just pull it open so you guys can see how it looks inside. You can see the action figure there. This, I'm guessing, is one of the main characters of the game. I haven't really got into it too much, but there's that. I'll show a better look at that a little bit later, but just want to show you how it was packaged in. Nice and neat, thankfully. It came with the game itself, of course, and then it came with a steel case as well, so people who like that. And a couple of art postcards here, which show like cool art from the game. It's very rare that I use a steelbook over my regular edition of the game. It really depends sometimes. But for this one, I'm just going to keep the regular edition out. I'm going to put the steel box up. But here's like some kind of medallion here, necklace. What else we got here? The art book, very thick art book. Lots of stuff in here. This is very well done. That probably could have been sold on its own as well. So very cool. Now here is everything from the Redemption Collection all spread out together. You know, let me know what you guys think about this, and let me know what you think about the game. I haven't played it that much yet. Well, let's just say I haven't got that far in it, but I do like the game so far. And here is one of the main characters here, the statue out and everything. It looks really well done. I'm probably not going to keep this out though because I just don't have any room for it right now. So I'm going to put it back in the box. But later on, when I find some room, I'll definitely have to put this out. And yes, for those of you asking, that is a PS2 test system sitting out.
Get lost. Nothing here for you. Hey! You looking to score or something? Coming to our place?
Junkies. I don't think they'll be a problem.
And next up is the PSP Dual Pack, which consists of Siphon Filter and SOCOM Fireteam Bravo. So first game here, Siphon Filter Dark Mirror. Fantastic freaking game. As a matter of fact, both games of the Siphon Filter series on the PSP, which were eventually ported to PS2, these I feel are the best game in that series. The only thing they're missing is the original voice actor from the first 3 games. If he was back voice acting Gabe Logan, man, this would have really blew my mind. But anyways, Siphon Filter, a great action stealth game. I hope a lot of people have heard of this series. It's been dormant for quite a while, but happy to have this. And SOCOM, I actually like the SOCOM game on PSP. I wasn't really a big SOCOM player, but you know, when I did play with friends online, it was actually pretty cool. I was more of a co-op type person where we team up to take out objectives or whatever, but everybody else wanted to do battle royales and like just one-on-one crazy stuff, or not one-on-one, but just like a match where you're going against everybody. It was pretty crazy for me. But anyways, yeah, happy to have this. Shout out to my buddy Cag for hooking this up, man. I really appreciate it. It's always nice to get a PSP game, especially one that that the disc is not messed up, because you guys know how the discs are like usually messed up when you find a PSP game out there. All right, so next up is from Limited Run, Goko Coca-Polo. This is a collection of 2 games that came out for the 3DS. Originally came out for the 3DS store, but Limited Run made it into a physical, thankfully. And I think this is like one of the last 3DS games released. I don't know, it's kind of mixed up. There's so much stuff out there, you can hardly tell sometimes. Now this game was brought to my attention, I want to say, maybe about a year ago. And it had a lot of fans for it. So luckily Limited Run made it into a physical. And the game is pretty simple, I would say. And I'll go into the gameplay in a little bit. But first I just want to show you guys what's inside the cases here. You see it comes with a manual, the game itself. The manual is in color, and it's not just a cheap front page and back page. They went into detail on how to play this game, so I thought that was pretty cool. And this one right here was the first game I played. This is the last game in the series so far, and this one's a lot of fun. Both games are pretty much the same, but the one I'm showing you here is the better version of the 2. Now here's a quick look of everything together, and if you're able to find this, you know what you're getting in this package pretty much. So now we're going to the gameplay. The gameplay is pretty simple. You play as a character, it's a cat character, and pretty much what I've seen from the gameplay and what I've played, you're a cat that starts mischief pretty much. Like everybody's walking around peacefully, and as soon as you go up to them and attack them, they start chasing you. And when you do that, they start chasing you, you have to lead them into a flower pot pretty much. At least that's what I think it was. But overall, the game is really a lot of fun, especially if you get a lot of enemies to chase you. You know, it's pretty hilarious just running around the map and having them all chase you all pissed off. But and it really shines during the boss battles as well. So, you know, once you get to a boss battle, things really turn up. So I feel like this is a 3DS game that people will want to have in their collection for sure. Here's Eon Fury. So I actually talked about this game, I think about maybe 2 years ago. And what intrigued me to get the Switch version was that I heard that it had a code to unlock 60 frames per second. Now I know it has some kind of difficulties like with performance, whether you have it docked or you're playing it portable. But I thought it was kind of cool to kind of like push the system to do 60 frames per second while in handheld mode. So here's Subnautica Below Zero. Now, my friend Martin had put me onto the first game, and I tried playing it, but I didn't really like it. I couldn't get into it, but everybody's telling me that this one is a whole lot better than that game, so I wanted to give it a try. It was on sale at GameStop at the time of their clearance. I think I got this for $5 sealed, but I'm hoping that I'll like this one because I felt like the first one had a lot of potential for me. And I know a lot of people think it's a good game, but I just couldn't get into it. But this one hopefully has a lot more than the first one did. We'll see how it goes. I'll let you guys know later in the comments. Here's Ender Lilies. So after playing a game like Record of Lodoss War, which was a fantastic adventure game, I implore all of you to try that game out. It is amazing. But I wanted to try this one out because it seemed like it was kind of like a similar game. I know that you control a little girl, and she has like these spirits that kind of protect her in the game. You use them to kind of attack and get around. So I haven't got all into it yet, but it looks like it's going to be something pretty cool. I'm not really sure, but you guys let me know in the comments. Alright everyone, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Radical Reggie, and I will see you all later.